What is up, guys? Welcome to the live tutorial for Washed by Elevation Rhythm. We're finally here. Been putting it off. You might be able to tell in my voice that it's a little tired. I was supposed to go live the other day, but I was busy recording the speed course that I made for the worship guitar group. If you're unfamiliar with that, the link is down below for the worship guitar group. We meet once a week, and there's tons of tabs and guitar stuff in there for learning and everything else. But my voice is a little tired, and I didn't have enough after recording for 3 hours for all the video material. So we're here. We're back. We're doing Washed by Elevation Rhythm, and this is a little bit of a different song compared to the other worship songs that I'm familiar with playing, or you might be familiar with playing. And it's got a different vibe to it. It's fun. It's different, and even the sound is going to be slightly different in terms of guitar effects. So we're in the key of B, and we're at 139 BPM, and I'm using a different patch this time. I'm going to be playing through Helix native. I've got stuff for the HX Stomp, HX Effects, Pod Go. What's HX Stomp, HX Effects, Helix, Pod Go for the line 6 stuff. And today I'm going to be playing through the 1975 patch. Now, if you're a real Christian, you shouldn't know who the 1975 is. But I have a patch for it, and I actually do listen to a lot of their stuff. Here is what the sound sounds like. We're still recording? Yeah, we're live. All right. So it's a very clean, chorusy. It's got like a 70s chorus on there. The way that this stuff was recorded for this song, there are a lot of different random guitar parts. There's stabs. There's different things to really kind of fill out the sound, and a lot of stuff is panned. So I really try to get to the bottom of it, especially if you're going to play this in a live scenario. And so that's basically the main part that I've whittled down, is that. So today I'm playing through my Strat, and I'm basically choosing the in-between positions where we have that classic Strat tone, and depending on where you're at in the song, how much, what kind of tone you want to bring to the table. I'm either playing through the middle position and the neck position, or if you want to add a little bit more brightness, you could do the middle position and the bridge position. Those typically tend to play with the chorus really well. So I'm aiming for that. If you don't have a middle pickup type of thing, you can always do the middle position. If for example, if you only have 2 pickups, maybe just do the middle position, or maybe do the neck position. But feel free to play around with whatever effects that you have to really get that sound. So that was basically the main pattern that I have. And by the way, I have all of the tabs, everything that I'm going to go over today, in the description below for free. So if you go in the link in the description below, I have free tabs for not just Elevation Rhythm, but for a lot of the bigger artists like Elevation Worship, Phil Wickham, Bethel, all of that stuff. So I have these tabs to go along with all of the things that I'm talking about. So if you want to learn visually and see this, go in the link in the description below. So that was that main part. I can play it slowly for you and kind of show you those different patterns. There's 3 positions here. So we have. So what that is my pinky is on the 9th fret D string, and we're creating a major chord right there. That's your 1 or your B chord, however you want to call it, with my ring finger on the 8th fret on the G string. And the one thing that you really want to pay attention to here is getting the open B string involved with that. But without hitting that open E string, for every chord. Some chords it works, some chords it doesn't, but for that first chord, we don't want that high E string, so you want to be really cautious on what you're doing on your picking hand and just get those 3 strings, your D string, G string, and B string. So you're going to resolve from the 8th fret to the 6th fret. So that's your first position there. And then make sure you're using your palm to really kind of choke up on that. And a lot of this stuff is you want to be real tight as possible that you can be with your left hand and your right hand. So the second position is happening on the 4th fret D string and 3rd fret G string. Then you're going to shift up to the 4th fret G string and the 6th fret D string. So and then let's say we're in the middle of the verse. That 3rd time, you're going to hit that twice. So just make sure you're hitting that. So I'll play the full progression up to that point. So it goes. And then the very end of that phrase, that progression, it goes. So now we're kind of into this 3rd position here. The chord is the 2 or a C sharp minor, however you want to call it. And that's happening on the 11th fret on the D string and the 9th fret on the G string. And this is where you go to the 2. That's where your open E string works well with this chord. So you can do a full stroke there. And then, so you go from the 2 to the 4. And how you get to that point is you go from this position and then the 9th fret on the D and G strings. So it goes 2, 4. So those are the verses. Moving on to the chorus. It sounds like this. So those are just chords, and they're changed up a little bit. You'll notice maybe the first chord, you might recognize it's a B. It's basically like a B bar chord. Some people call it a root 5 bar chord. That would be the whole follow through there. But we're playing it a little differently because we want to keep that open B string there. So the first shape is on the 2nd fret A, 4th fret D and G string, and then open B. Now the one thing you want to be careful of is, again, that open E string. You don't want to hit the open E string on the wrong chord. So for example, that first chord, we don't want to hit that open E string. So you need to figure out how to mute that open E string, whether you try not to just hit it with your picking hand, or you use something like, I'm kind of using my pinky here. If I kind of rest my pinky on the open E string, I kind of rest it there, and then I do a follow through. That's another way to really tighten up on that string and make sure it doesn't ring out. So that's your 1 or your B major chord. Technically it's a B5 in this situation. But then you go to your 4, which is your E5. That you can play the whole follow through there. So you can do, so it's a low open E string, then the 2nd fret A and D string, and then ring finger on the 4th fret G string, and then open B string and E string. So then you're going to your G sharp minor 7 or your 6. So that's going to be 4th fret E string and 4th fret D and G string. And and then your open B. And then don't hit the open E string on this one. And then from there you go to your 5 or your F sharp major. So from there it's the 2nd fret E string, 4th fret on the D string, 3rd fret on the G string. And then open B string, so you get that nice tension there. And then try not to hit the open E string on that one too, because otherwise it'll sound like this. Okay, so that is the chorus. And depending on what part of the chorus or what part of the song you're on is how much distortion you add to it. And if you kind of dig into the chords and add more like 8th notes or something like that, really depends on where you are at dynamically. But that first chorus is just diamonds there. Okay, so those are the choruses, and then the bridge, there's a down bridge, and then there's an up bridge. I'm going to show you the cleaner version of that, which is the down bridge. It sounds like this. So if you're familiar with this area, if you're a worship guitar player, this is your D major triad area, but we're in the key of B, starting on the 12th fret on the B string, and then you're barring the 11th fret, G string, B string, and high E string. So it sounds like this. That's your triad, and you're really just figuring out the picking pattern and where the melody is going. So you're alternating with the 11th fret G string. So it's still barring that 11th fret. So you're going from the 12th. Melodically, you're going from the 12th to the 14th on the B string to the 11th fret E string and then 11th fret B string. And you're maintaining that alternate picking with that 11th fret G string. And then when you add some distortion on it, you don't have to alternate pick as much on that G string, and you can really dig into single notes, but you're just playing that melody again. So it's, let's say you're doing like 16th notes. So that's what that would look like. You're just following that melody. Again, all of this is in the tabs. The last thing that I wanted to go over was what I'm calling like the verse ear candy. And it sounds like this. And it's in that same position that you were just in for the bridge. So you're going to outline that D chord shape, but you're going to start on what would be the 5 of the scale on the 14th fret E string. So it goes 14, 12, 11. Then it's 12th fret on the B string, and then 11th fret on the G string. So if I were to count it in time, there would be an 8th note rest there. So it would be, let's take off the distortion for a second. So let me play it in context of the verse. that's where it would come in. And you could either choose to play the, or play the, switch on like a distortion or something. I'd recommend like putting on a distortion with a lot of reverb for that. But the hard part is going to be going from that. If you're playing this whole thing by yourself and there's only one guitar player, jumping up to that and then jumping back to the, it's going to be a little tricky, but if you've got your pedals and stuff set up the right way, in a way where you can just kick on a bunch of reverb and a little distortion at once, you can kind of hop back and forth. But then again, if I had to pick one and I had to choose, I would go for just that main part, and then just have fun over there. And yeah, so that's what I would do. So again, all of these tabs, everything is going to be in the link in the description, and you can get those all for free. And yeah. Yep. I think that's everything for Washed by Elevation Rhythm. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and also a comment on what song I should cover next. But yep, without further ado, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.